This is my 2016 Mazda 3, and we got some work to do on the brakes. All right, so in this video, it's a weird one. It started off with me trying to rebuild my caliper. Little backstory, so my little brake light came on a while back, and I thought it was my emergency brake at first, but then as I did some research, I figured that there's a little sensor and it indicates when your fluid's low. So I topped it off, everything was fine. And then like a month or so later, the light came on again, my fluid was low. So that's an indication that there was a leak somewhere. So I got lucky, and on the second wheel, which is the rear right, I found a little tear in the boot. I thought that was the leak, but I did it on a very wet day. The snow was all melting, so I wasn't 100% sure. But regardless, that boot needed to be replaced. And then on another day where it was a little drier, I did a little bit more exploratory work. And on that same caliper, the rear right, in the back, where the seal is, it was leaking every time I used the handbrake. So my intent was to rebuild that caliper. I got a little kit online, and everything was working fine. And then shit kind of hit the fan. So I ended up just replacing the caliper. So I'm going to show a little bit of me messing around with the caliper. But this video is primarily going to be focused on, I guess, replacing the caliper, which is a lot simpler. I might post taking apart that caliper and probably rebuilding it, minus the fuck ups I had. We'll just ignore that. But if you want to, I'm not too sure. If you want to see it, just put a comment below, and I'd be more than happy to edit that and put it together and put it online. But anyways, let's get into it. So what kind of stuff are we gonna need today? As I mentioned, this video kind of took a detour, and I kind of veered away from the intent. So it's a little choppy. I'm actually refilming all of this because you needed different tools. But anyways, to take off the caliper and replace it, it's pretty straightforward. You know, you can see here, ratchet, sockets, wrenches, a few things, some hand tools, just a variety. The e-brake is a pain in the ass. I'll get into it a little bit more. You're gonna need some .3 brake fluid. As per Mazda specifications. We have some brake lubricant, some anti-seize, some little clamps. It just helps with the brake hose a little bit. You may or may not need one of these caliper piston compression tools. You can probably get away with just kind of getting a those pliers and turning the piston. If you're not aware, the rear caliper has the emergency brake, and the piston doesn't just go in and out. You have to kind of spin it. One more thing, for bleeding the brakes, we have just some vinyl tubing. This is 3/16. It was a little tight, but it did fit on. This is just a water bottle with two holes drilled, one for the hose and then just a little air vent. And then what I saw on the internet, is there's a little zip tie here just to hold this in place so the bottle doesn't fall if it's hanging, doesn't make a mess or put air into your system. So I believe that's about it. Nothing too special. Let's get outside and start tearing things apart.
So again, the original intent of this video was to rebuild this caliper and reuse it. So here I'm just explaining that the first thing you're going to want to check is that bleeder screw is functioning and actually can come out and doesn't break, because if it doesn't, you'll have to replace that completely, which I ended up doing. But I figured I'd leave it in there as an FYI.
Yeah, and she's gooping some liquid. Now that that's checked, I'm just gonna go and top up my brake fluid, because I will lose some as I start disconnecting things. Next thing we wanna tackle is this emergency brake. There's a little spring here. You can see that. I just wanna get that off. Just with a little flathead. Okay, so now we need to compress this bracket, and that will allow us to get this cable off. So to take that emergency cable off, I am gonna have to take off the caliper. it's going to be dangling. So while I have it, I want to crack this banjo bolt for the brake line hose, and then I'm just going to tighten it back up, just so I don't have to crack it while it's hanging. Right now it's fastened in, it's nice and stable. So okay, that came off. Let's just hand tighten that back up just to stop any leaking. Okay, good. Now let's take off this caliper. It's just 2 bolts, 14 mil. So caliper is removed. I've wired it up just to the strut here, just so there's not pressure on the brake line. And the spring is off the mount, so I'm just gonna clamp it in. Grab. It's just like this little stuff is so finicky, but hopefully yeah. So I'm gonna play around with this. My hands are cold, man. Sucks. There we go. All right, so that's off. Just took a little filling around. Do whatever works for you. I just ended up using my hands, clamping and pulling it out. So the next thing is there is a little clip in here. It's like a split crowned clip. So again, I was in here last week, so I brushed it all down, lubed it all up. It was caked on there, man. And then you're just gonna have to slowly work it. And I used a pair of pliers and just slowly kind of worked it until it got loose. You have to find where it splits and gently kind of just wedge something in there. Okay, so that's off. Ow. And just, oh, I got that, yeah. And just kind of move it down. Try not to break it, because I have no idea how you would find one of these parts. Okay, so okay, there it is, and there's the split. So it just kind of has to widen a little bit and then get over this little collar on here. All right, so for me, this is gonna slide right out. Now, the reason that was so easy for me was last week, I took this apart already because I didn't really want to deal with it. The weather was nice. So I ended up having to use like a cold chisel, a little pry bar, and a hammer, and just, this was fused to this bracket, like just 10 years of rust. It's never been off before. So it just took me probably like literally an hour, just gently wedging whatever I could, screwdrivers, anything in between these two faces. And it slowly came out. Now that it was off, I put some anti-seize. So if I ever have to do this again, hopefully it will be a little bit easier. But yeah, this just comes out. Okay, stupid brake line removed. Honestly, it's just little things like this that take way longer than you would expect. It's just very finicky. So now I'm going to remove the hose, and let's get a better angle of that. Okay, so now, as I mentioned, I've already cracked the banjo bolt for the brake hose. I'm gonna remove it remaining of the way. I have a little catch bucket down here. Catch the fluid, hopefully it's not too much. Okay, and hopefully I don't get any in my eyes. There's 2 crush washers, those copper ones, one on both sides, so just be careful not to lose those if you're planning on reusing them. Very nice. And now it is leaking, so I'm just gonna take this little clamp, put it over the little opening. Not sure if you saw any of that, but I think that should do for now. We're just gonna clamp this up high. Let's see how. Oh crap! Oh crap! Man, you guys that live in warm areas that don't get snow have it so good. You don't have to deal with the snow. You don't have to deal with all this fucking rust. Must be nice. Must be nice. But anyways, that's clamped up. It's probably still dripping a little bit, but I think for now, that's fine. Now the caliper is completely free. So I'm gonna remove it from the wire and let's go down into the workshop and taking this bad boy apart.
So as I mentioned, this video started with the intent of rebuilding the caliper. So I was, taking it apart, taking off the piston, removing the seals. Everything was feeling good. Everything was looking good. I was feeling confident. And then on the back, there is a little mounting bracket just for the e-brake cable. And truth be told, I didn't need to remove it, but I was like, you know what, I'm here. Let's remove it. Let's clean it all up, make it nice, make it look nice and pretty. And I guess that was my mistake. I knew the back of my mind, I saw these little tiny bolts, and I know there's 10 years of rust on those things. And I was like, it should be fine. It should be fine. But I got cocky, my friends. And, through all my experience, which is not very much, I should have known better. I should have known better. But let's take a look.
Okay, now there's this little mount. I'm not sure if I need to take that off, though. I may want to just to clean it, but I'm afraid I'll break these bolts or something. Ah, fuck. Just what I feared. Just snap that thing. Yeah, you don't even need that bolt. It's just the emergency brake. Oh man, I wish I hadn't done that. I should have just left it. Fuck. So usually, and I was honestly gonna do this, when you have these bolts like this that you're afraid of snapping, you should loosen a little and then tighten a little. Loosen a little, tighten a little. And I did not do that, so this is the result. All right, so this is what I'm gonna do. Made up my mind. I'm gonna rebuild this fucking thing. I'm gonna try and extract this bolt. I'll apply some heat, try my bolt extractor. That'll be the first time I've used it, and see if I'm successful.
So spoiler alert, I was not successful. So, I put some heat, used the old crayon trick, drilled it out, and, just slowly worked the different extractors. One seemed a little too dainty and small. The other one was a little bigger and heftier. So, I just kept working at it. I applied more heat, more crayon. I probably spent half an hour just carefully trying to extract this fucking thing. And, it didn't work out.
Okay, I think it might be time for a new caliper. All right, my reign has come to an end, my friends. I got a little too cocky. I was using the big extractor and I knew it was splitting the bolt and it cracked the caliper. But for now, I'm gonna text my brother-in-law, see if he's home and if I can borrow his car to go buy a new caliper. Okay, fuck all that shit. A quick journey to the parts store and 150 bucks later, we got ourselves a new caliper. Maybe I should have done this from the beginning, but you know what? I don't regret my decisions. I think it was a good learning experience, and truth be told, it's kind of fun. So let's just take a look at this. I did notice in the store it's slightly different. Where's that old piece of shit? Oh, there it is. I think that bleeder, actually, no, I thought the bleeder was in a different location, but it's not, it's the same. Yeah, I think we're good. I've done my brakes before, so I've had this all apart. The only thing I want to check here is if these pins are greased or not. The fact that there's like paint on these means they're torqued, and I just can't see them torquing these without greasing. I mean, it doesn't hurt. I'm gonna retorque them anyways, so it's cool. This is a brand new caliper. A lot of parts stores only had refurbished or remanufactured, which is basically used. Basically, probably what I was trying to do there, just replacing all the seals, cleaning things up. And I don't know, that's just an idea. I was looking at reviews online, And there was some bad reviews, you know, you don't know who's remanufacturing these things. Oh yeah, they feel greased. Let's just take a little peek. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, they're greased. I guess that's what it means when it says, what do they call this? Semi-loaded caliper. So it's all greased up, it's ready to go. The only thing I want to do here is adjust the piston to the right orientation so that when I'm bringing it outside, it's easier. So this is just a little attachment for my little brake caliper set. You just want to make sure that these divots are in the vertical orientation, and then that will align with the little dimples on the back of the pads. All right, I just put it in the vise because it was fighting me a little bit, so that should be good. Let's go outside, remove the brackets, bring the pads and the bracket inside, and build this up. So these are just 14 millimeter bolts for the bracket. Whoa, hey. My sweet little brake line. Put that back up there. So there's quite a bit of fluid that's leaked out. Just want to keep an eye on the level, make sure the fluid reservoir in the master cylinder doesn't drain. Then you'll probably introduce air into your entire system and you'll have to bleed all your brakes. And it might actually damage the master cylinder. I'm not too sure though. But yeah, just keep an eye on it. Okay. That's out. Okay, so let's get these pads off. As I mentioned, for the back pads, there's a little dimple that aligns with the groove in the piston. And often the back or inside pads will have the squealer. Okay, we'll take off these brackets. Don't want to bend them. I do want to reuse them. Okay, toss that in the trash. And I want to give these a nice little clean up. I should put my gloves back on. Brake clean is also not good for your hands. It's also very bad for your lungs, and I'm inside, so I should be careful. Okay, I want to put a little grease in behind the brackets. Now I've seen some people do anti-seize, and I've also heard other people saying that's bad. You shouldn't use anti-seize. It's not rated for brakes. I don't really know. I'm thinking that just the brake grease is a safer bet. Maybe anti-seize is the appropriate one. Again, if you know, feel free to let me know, educate me. These brackets are slightly different. They got little clips there on one and not on the other, and then one's kind of tapered. So I'm just matching it of how I took it apart. I wasn't paying attention when I was taking it apart, but luckily I'm filming, so I was able to match that up. I'm not sure if it matters. Now this is all just standard stuff. I have a video on brakes if you want to go watch that. It's more detailed, but yeah, just get a little blop on the ears. It seems like everything with mechanics is controversial. Like I've even heard people say, oh, you shouldn't grease up the ears because just junk gets collected in there. The repair manual says to grease it, so that's what I'm doing. This does not have the dimple, so this is the outer pad. It also seems like all lubricants and just supplies are extremely harmful to your health. Like the package on this grease says do not get in contact with your skin. So yeah, that's fun. Okay, that's on there. And then lastly, you want to put some grease where the caliper is going to touch. And then on this side is where the piston is going to touch. Just smeared on there, brother. Come on. Yeah, that's good. That's nice. It definitely kind of feels weird putting these crusty brake pads on a nice new caliper, but I didn't know I was going to be replacing the caliper. So you live, you learn, you adjust, you succeed. Okay, we're ready to go outside. Got the bracket. Surprisingly enough, the kit did not come with new bolts, but I don't think that's a problem. These bolts are fine. It starts and then kind of just stops. Like, oh fuck. These bolts aren't perfect, but they're not terrible. All right, we're good. I gave the bolts a nice little wire brush down and a good spray with some penetrant. All right, the spec for these bolts is 38 to 48. Now time for the caliper. And do the old channel lock trick. It didn't work last time, so we'll see if it works. Oh, fuck. Okay. So I realized I should have put this clip on before, so I'm gonna have to take this apart, which is kind of a pain in the ass, but let's do that. I had to take the spring off to get that thing back off. Not the thing, but this. Silly. Oh fuck, what am I doing? Man, almost. So that goes on there first. Make sure it's seated properly. Okay, good. Ain't going nowhere, bitch. Okay. Spring back on.
So I was playing around with this for a while there. I wasn't able to get the proper leverage. The spring just kept sliding on the screwdriver, but I just kept working at it, found a different angle, and finally got it on. But yeah, it's just these little random things, you know, they're just so awkward. But yeah, just keep messing with it, try different angles, try different approaches, you'll get it.
There we go. We lost the brake pad and the whole shebang, but we can put that brake pad back on. A little wet, but brake pads get wet, so that's okay. Get these little bolts in here, and we'll torque them down. Torque was 17 to 19, so we'll do 18. Let's get this brake hose attached. Just want to give it a quick little clean. Now, you just want to make sure after you did that, clean this well, because you don't want junk getting into your fucking caliper, your brand new caliper, or else you might have to try and rebuild it and then fail, and then have to buy another caliper. So crush washers on either side. It's hard to do this when you can't see. Man, the things I do for you guys. Just put myself through so much pain and agony. Is this a 12? Finally, something that fucking matches. Fuck. It's cold down here, man. Oh, fuck. Okay, let me just check the torque. Banjo boat, 17 to 21. There it is. So we got this set up. We've just filled this bottle up with some clean brake fluid, just so the tip is submerged. Now we're gonna place this on the bleeder. Now the idea around this is, as you pump your brakes, you push down and you release. And there's a push and then a suction. So if you don't have like kind of a vacuum, it'll introduce air into your system, and then you'll be bleeding forever because you just won't be able to get the air out. Where this, you push, the fluid comes in here, you release, it gets sucked back, but it's not sucking back air necessarily. And then as you keep pushing, the fluid will kind of find its way down into here and just keep filling that up. And then this, when you stop seeing bubbles in the hose, that's when you know your brakes have been bled. So let's get this on here. So she's on there. Now, because this is dry, I should have broke that bleeder before. I was watching a video. If this was already filled up with fluid, you would want to attach the hose first. Kind of did that a little backwards, but this better be a fucking 10 mil. Man, it's these stupid brands. We change up all the bolt sizes. All right, let me go grab some more wrenches. All right, we're back. It's 11. You don't want to tighten it or loosen it too much, or else fluid will start coming out of the threads, which you don't want. So now that that's connected and that's loose, I'm gonna go pump my brakes. I'm gonna do it very slowly. I'm gonna push down slowly, hold, and then release slowly, and hopefully we start seeing some fluid. I might have to do it a few times before this fills up and then starts bleeding, but yeah, let's try it.
So if you're doing this, it's probably good to film it. You want to make sure the stream of fluid coming out of there has no bubbles, but you're just going to repeat this. Check, pump, and don't forget to keep filling up your master cylinder reservoir, because as I mentioned, you don't want to introduce air into your system and restart the whole thing. So yeah, just keep doing that. It's simple. It took me longer than I thought. Bubbles seem to keep kind of spurting out randomly, but I got there.
I also just want to get some footage and ensure the e-brake is working properly, so I'm just gonna give it a couple yanks. All right, I took her for a test drive. Brakes seem firm, and it stops. So I think that's a good indication that things are working. That one was interesting. A lot of ups and downs, a lot of surprises, some lessons learned. Don't fuck around with calipers, or at least try not to break bolts. I guess that's the lesson of the day. Anyways, thanks for watching, and hope you learned something.